morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Wednesday, October 29th, and we have just finished up a 5-day series on what demons don't want you to know. Of course, I've been praying about what we're going to be talking about next. And this vision actually happened last week. And when I dug into the research, I was just completely blown away at what I found. So I'm going to share this vision with you and then start to share some of the things that I found based on how much time we have. And we may be talking about the different elements within this one Hebrew word for quite a while. I found an enormous amount of information as I dug into it. So in this vision, it wasn't a dream, I was awake. I was sitting next to a fire with a very old man. He had a walking staff that was longer than he was tall. He had a very thick, long gray beard and bushy gray eyebrows. He was also dressed in what I would expect a man to be dressed in back in biblical times, in those ancient times. His skin looked so weathered that I could assume he had been out in the sun a lot. I'm not sure what we were sitting on, but my focus was on the fire. I really never looked away from the fire. I was aware of this man, seeing him out of the corner of my eye, but the focus was very much on the fire. So I'm just watching the fire and enjoying the moment. It was peaceful, but yet it also had an element of tension, an element of expectation. And I knew that I was to wait. I was to wait for something to happen. I wasn't really sure what it was I was supposed to wait for. Then the man stood, and I could hear him struggling to shuffle over to the fire. But I never stopped looking at the fire. I could see the reds, the oranges, and blues. So the fire was burning well, and it was the only light that could be seen. It was a very dark night. I could see the wood that had blackened part and the part that burns really hot and becomes the coals to keep the fires burning. The man used his staff to turn some wood, making some sparks fly out. He turned and looked at me and simply said, "Ruach." Then he disappeared and I was alone. It was still peaceful, and it was as if I wasn't surprised he was gone, and I just continued to look at the fire. I think the whole point of this vision was for me to dig into what this word ruach means. And as soon as I heard it, it's a word I've encountered before in my Bible studies. I knew that it meant the Holy Spirit, but I really dug. And when I dug deep. And some of the things that I found are really, really interesting. Today, I think we're just going to cover the basic definition of it. And then tomorrow, we're going to get deeper into what this word ruach means, and Friday. So what it means in the Brown-Drivers-Briggs definition, it's wind, breath, mind, and spirit. As soon as I heard it, I knew it meant Holy Spirit. I knew that. It can also mean the wind of heaven. It can be the breath of air. It can be gas. It can be the spirit. It can be vivacity and vigor. It can be courage, temper, anger, impatience, patience. It can be a prophetic spirit. It can be the spirit that's a gift from God, God's spirit. It can be an emotion spirit of a desire or sorrow or trouble. It can also be a part of your will and moral character. The last definition in the Brown-Drivers-Briggs was Spirit of God, the third person of the triune God, the Holy Spirit, co-equal, co-eternal with the Father and the Son. So that would inspire prophecy, instruction, warning, warlike energy, administrative power, various gifts, energy in life, manifest as the Shekinah glory. And it's never referred to as a depersonalized force. So the Holy Spirit is it's got like a person element to the Holy Spirit. In the Strong's definition, it means wind, breath, exhalation, life, anger, unsustainability, region to the sky. And then when you get into the lexicon, it gets much more interesting. The pictograph of the first letter is the picture of a head, and the next letter was the picture of the wall that separates the inside from the outside. Combined, this means the man's outside. Responsibilities of no man outside of the tent include feeding, watering, and caring for livestock. But as I kept digging, I found more within this lexicon definition. The winds which follow a prescribed path each season. And what I found as I dug into this word and to this lexicon is the people were able to understand the patterns of the winds and know what they needed to do to take care of things. So this is about us understanding the patterns of how the Holy Spirit moves and using that in our direction. When we do that, we are kicking those demons right in the face. There is nothing they would want less than for us to pay attention to what the Holy Spirit's doing and follow that guidance. So get up and kick them in the face. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.